Unless your senses are dull, it's really easy to tell when a girl likes you. And boy, was I in a terrible situation. Like, I was in a life-threatening situation. Like, I was on the verge of being homeless again. And I was dating this girl at the time who knew a lot of people. And eventually, one of the people she knew gave us refuge. They were like, "You can come live with us for a while, like 4 months or something." And these people that let us live were there were four people living there. It was two couples, and they were both married, and they were really young, like they were in their early 20s. And when you marry someone in your early 20s, it's usually not gonna work out. It's just not. A good deal of times you marry the wrong person. You just jump the fucking gun. And and the two girls, one of them was a they were both cute. Like one of them was a pastor and she was really passionate about her work. And the other one, I don't even know what she did, but it must have been some kind of important job. I don't know. But she was pretty cute. And they both had glasses, and I like girls in glasses for some reason. And let's see. But it was my birthday. I lived there for like over 4 months because after 4 months they were like, we like you guys so much you can actually live here as long as you want. And like this really surprised me. I don't know what that was about. But because we were late on rent all the time because my at the time like it was my girlfriend that was in charge of all the bills because I wasn't making any money at the time. And my girlfriend has no honor. Like I broke up with her and like she has no honor. She's always late. She just whatever. She's always late. She sucks. And so it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And it was my birthday eventually, and they gave me this really sweet letter, like that they all signed, saying happy birthday and this and that. And this touched me. Like this was very touching to me. Like this doesn't happen to me too much. And I we were all texting. You know how you can group text on the phone? We were all texting to each other, and I gave them all, I said to the whole group, like, thank you for the letter. I'm really touched. Like, just saying thank you. And they were touched by this as well. They were like, oh, like, we love you, buddy. And like, and not too long after that, on the same day, be- because one of the girls was a pastor, I like whenever whenever I play fighting games and I'm starting to lose, I grab my girlfriend's hand and I say something like, "Transfer your power to me, like I need your strength." And like I would just hold her hand and I'll go, I would just make some kind of sound effect like, "Oh, I have your power now. I can go on. I can win this fight." And like that's my thing with my girlfriends. Like I just do that. And in in spirit of that, I told everyone. I was like be, because they were all churchgoers, so I thought they would get a kick out of this. I said, it's like new source of power acquired. Holy Divinity Plus, the scroll of absolute comeback. Meaning, and what I meant by that was like, I'm gonna use this letter as a source of my power when I need it. When I need to do comebacks. And they didn't really understand what I talked about, like, but I didn't care. Like, they didn't really get it. They were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But I'm glad for you. And what I did was I placed the letter in front of my TV, and basically I found the two girls cute, the two married women. Basically, I found them cute, and they were my new source of power. I had three different girls. Give, like I had the spirit of three different girls now, and um, before, like you know how I, before I dated anybody, my source of power was Boa, who's a Korean pop singer. But basically, I always like to have the strength. I always like to have the what's it called? The support of a pretty lady whenever I'm in battle. And let's see here. I'm sorry, it's just a little hard to think when I'm playing this game, but I'm playing this game lately because I'm guessing this is a more interesting game to look at than my other ones. Well, anyways, so, and at the time, I was doing drugs a lot. Me and my girlfriend would just do drugs every day. And my thing around that time was doing drugs and drinking a lot of energy drinks at the same time. And it would just be awesome. Like, it was almost like meth. But it was very unhealthy for me, I'm sure. And so I would just stay up for like 3 days at a time, and it would just drive me fucking crazy, but I liked it. I like feeling crazy. And at the time is when I got my PS4 for the first time, and I realized that you can record videos on this thing, on the PS4. Like, you can record your gameplay and put it up on YouTube with great ease. And I was just having a blast with it. I was like, I had no idea the PlayStation 4 could do this. And I wasn't really like that impressed with the PS4 when I bought it. So I was very glad it had that function. And so I was really obsessed, like really obsessed with YouTube when I got the PS4, because I started getting subscribers and stuff. I had like 15 subscribers or something, and I was really excited about that because nobody ever subscribed to me for years and years and years. But apparently some people were liking the game because I didn't have a mic when I first started recording. I had to do some really good gameplay, to even like have it be worth watching. So I had a lot of impressive gameplay, and people liked it. And let's see here. So I was just obsessed. I was getting way more views, and the results were just improving with every passing hour, and I was just happy as hell. I could not get enough. And then I eventually got a mic, and I started in my beginning videos. When I got a mic, I was like really silly because I was always high, and like I was silly as shit, and like I started hearing laughter. Like, one thing I noticed was that one of the girls that I like her name was Rebecca. And one of the things I noticed about Rebecca is that she always hung out in the room next to ours. It was like her special room where she would just have a quiet place to read. And she read like all the time. And every time I got out of the room to go to the bathroom, because the bathroom was right next to both of our rooms, Every time I got out to the bathroom, she would look at me, and I didn't think much of it at the time, and and I would never look back at her because she's somebody else's woman, and I just don't want to, you know. And um, so that was that. But unknown to me, all that time I was living there, the walls were paper thin, and she could hear everything I was saying. And like when I started doing my shows on the mic, she started laughing. Like she found a lot of things I was saying funny, and this kind of like that kind of got me going. Like that I was amusing somebody, and I was getting a real kick out of amusing her. So I tried to be funny a lot, and it would always make her laugh. So it was really her that I was amusing. And my girlfriend was starting to really annoy me around this time. Like I was actually thinking about breaking up with her, and I was starting to think that I could do better than her. And the girls, the married girls, started picking up on that, and like they would hear us argue like all the time. It was just crystal clear, and it was getting well. Anyways, one day, so I was just out of my mind making videos non-stop, not sleeping. I was just out of my mind. And like during this insanity, I kept on I kept on talking about God. Like I was just like, dude, like because I was acting like it was a joke at first. I was just like, I'm getting power from God. And like I was joking at first just to like well, anyways, I was joking at first, but like in my insanity, I started believing this. I started believing that I was starting to get like God was helping me out with His Spirit or whatever. And what happened was, so I started to believe in God. Like that's when it happened. Like I was convinced in my insanity, I was convinced that God was actually helping me out. And I started seeing signs in my insanity. Like I was like, oh my God, he's sending me signs. Like, cause like the number three kept on showing up. Like the number three kept on standing out, and I was like, what could it be? And like I looked it up, and it was, and at first I was thinking it was greed, cause there's seven sins, and the third sin is greed, and like and I was like, does it have something to do with greed? But it didn't make any sense, so I turned to another theory. And I was like, oh, it must mean the Holy Trinity or something. And I was just obsessed with God. Like, I started putting up, like, wallpaper on my computer about, like, a bunch of pictures of Jesus and stuff. And Bethany, the girl that was the pastor, she knocked on my room for the first time, and she immediately saw the pictures on my computer, and she was immediately like she wanted to come into my room like instantly. Like she was very happy about this, and like we started talking, and she sat right next to me, and it was very obvious that she digged me. This made me uncomfortable. Like, although she was cute, I don't want any fucking married woman liking me. I don't want to get shot. That's how you get killed, you know? A lot of murders happen because you fucked with their wife or something. So this made me very uncomfortable, and I tried my best. Like, I did everything I could to let her know that I don't like her. Like, I didn't say it to her or nothing, but I never gave her signs or anything. And, like, and I started noticing that the other girl liked me too, Rebecca. she started like talking to me more than usual, and like she kept on showing me her ass, like, and like she must have heard about that while she was in the other room because like I often talked about my girlfriend's ass and how much I liked it. And Rebecca just kept on showing me off her ass by like wearing tight pants and like just kind of like turning her back on me. And I was like, oh boy. And the men started picking up on this too. They were like, okay, I think our women like him. And they started acting very weird. Like, they always had this crazy, insane aura around them. Like, they were just like really worried, really just like one of the guys, he kept on running up and down the stairs. It was weird as fuck. It was so weird. I think he just kept on wanting to check up on his girl who was sitting right next to my room. He just kept on checking up on her, and like the other guy, the other guy just kept on like I don't know. Everybody was just weird. Everybody was acting strange. Everybody, besides my girlfriend. My girlfriend was completely. She was just completely whatever. I don't know. She wasn't aware of anything. She's like that. And but yeah, it became a life-threatening situation because the men took advantage of my insanity. Like they must have just really thought through this. Like, because when you're high and you haven't been sleeping a lot, like you get really paranoid, and I was paranoid as fuck because it felt like I was always being watched, like I was always being listened to, and like I didn't feel like I had any privacy, so I felt crazy. I was very paranoid, and they knew that. And what they did was, one day, the girls went out. I mean, like, I didn't know who was in the house. And, like, it was really obvious to me whenever the girls were nearby and listening to me or whatnot. And they would, like, often chuckle. And, like, I heard some noises in the next room, so I assumed it was the girls. And I started saying stuff because I knew they could hear me. And I said, "Oh, there goes my sneaky angels again, my sneaky ninja angels." And like, but it wasn't them. It was actually the men. And they didn't like what they just heard. Like, they took this as me flirting with them a little. And they did not like this. So you know what fucking happened? I heard a chainsaw revving. Boom, boom, boom. Somebody turned on a chainsaw. It was quite obvious. This freaked me the hell out, and I ran out of the house. And I quickly moved out of the house as soon as I could. And that is the story of how my life was in danger.